Hello, and welcome to episode 208 of First Geek 411. We're running a little late this week, but it's just our May recap. But welcome, everyone. And I'm your host this week, and returning after a few weeks off. I am Chris Nicolay, and joining me, my good friend, Emma.
Hi. Glad to be here, as always.
Good. Someone's got to talk to me.
Of course. I always enjoy our conversations.
But as always, be sure to check us out on our social media. We're One Geek 411 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also join our Discord server. You can email us directly with any comments or concerns. We are 1stgeek411 at gmail.com. You can also check out our website at onegeek411.com, which hasn't been updated in a while. My bad. Sorry, everyone. But we are also live, as we are currently, on Twitch every Monday night at 6:45 Mountain Time. And you can find, if you are following up, you can check us out on our YouTube. Be sure to rate and subscribe to us wherever you listen or watch. And be sure to check out our Redbubble store for all of our merch. Is that everything?
Woo-hoo.
It's been a while. Man, haven't done that in a long time. Um, But yeah, so let's go ahead and first start off. Emma, what have you been up to?
It's been a very exciting week. Finally, after many months or whenever it came out, I got a PS5. I lucked out and got the Sony email invite, whatever,
It's been over a
and
year,
got one.
Emma.
Yeah, it's been over a year. It's just been that long. I was giving up hope on getting one, and finally I got the email for the whatever the system is that PlayStation has been doing to get one, and I got one. Finally. So I've got it all hooked up behind me and have been playing on it the last couple of days. I moved my save file for Horizon Forbidden West over and have been playing that on there. And I also picked up yesterday Ghost of Tsushima because Chris, you love it so much and talk so much about it
I still
that
need to get
I was
back in
just
there and
like,
finish it.
I'm just gonna try it because I've heard only good things about
It's
it.
so
And
pretty.
it is
Just run around. That's all you do.
It is so pretty.
Screw the plot. Just just explore. Eventually, you do have to
It's
proceed in the plot so you could explore other areas, but
yeah, yeah. But like I'm maybe an hour in, but I'm really enjoying it so far, and it's such a fun game. And
track down all the foxes.
yes, check. Doing that. Really enjoying it. Having a lot of fun with that. And yeah, just really enjoying the PS5 overall. Um,
It's a chonky boy.
it's a chonky boy, and I'm not gonna look at my bank account for a while, but I've interviewed for 2 jobs this week, so hopefully one of them will help make up for that dramatic drop in my finances.
How do you think I feel after Vegas?
Well,
That was very rough
that was on you,
my bank
not
account.
on me. Plus, I have a
Technically, on my friends
physical
who
item.
decided to have their bachelor party there. I'm like, I guess.
Um, so that happened. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. And then I've also been watching over the weekend Stranger Things season 4. I'm obviously nowhere near the end of what's been released. I'm on like episode 5, but that's been fun to watch. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a diehard fan or anything, but I enjoy that kind of genre when it comes to, you know, things like that. Um, Plus, then once I get that checked off, I can move on to Obi-Wan. And then I went for a hike yesterday, and that was enjoyable. So
Yeah,
that's been
there's
my
a
week.
lot of current things I need to get caught up on,
Yeah.
but I haven't been motivated to. But awesome. As for me, as I previously mentioned, I've been gone for a couple weeks. That was due to Vegas and just recovering from because yeah, that weekend
Vegas
I drove 13 hours, got there, and immediately
partied.
went out. We immediately went out from there. I didn't even like okay. fine. Finally went to bed. I ditched the party. I was like, nope, I'm going to bed. It's midnight. I've been up for 20 something hours straight. Or
Yeah.
no, like 30, like 40 something hours. It was great. And then 13 hours back after a long weekend to there. That's about all I can handle in Vegas is 3 days. Yep.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, then came back, work and everything just got the best of me. But one thing I have managed to do is I did get, or mostly this weekend, I did manage while I was cleaning and doing other stuff to check out a couple other animes. Um, First one is Daemon, A Recipe for Happiness, which is a slice of life anime revolving around a Japanese confectionery. Kind of like a son returns from pursuing a music career because he receives a letter that his dad had been hospitalized. Um, but it wasn't serious. There's a few other. It's very charming. I am absolutely liking this. There's a lot of good relationship dynamics happening, and I think it's definitely one I would recommend. It's very heartwarming, very fun, very enjoyable, very sweet. Um,
I
eh,
love the art for this.
you should check it out. It is just it's so good. Like it's not the best. Some of the pacing needs help, but I mean, all in all, the premise is just super sweet because it's Japanese sweets. Get it? Okay, no. Cameron's not here. I can make the puns now. Okay. Um,
Do it.
so it's definitely one I recommend. It is just it's very charming. Um, and yes, the animation is really good too. Previously mentioned Love All Play, which I'm continuing to watch, which is a badminton anime. Um, Kind of just a stereotypical sports anime. It's good though. It's badminton. Cracks me up. It's very serious badminton though. But then another sports anime I've been watching is called Birdie Love. And it is a sports anime about golf. Um, but like it's like women's golf and but it takes a more shonen approach, which I absolutely love, which meaning it's like kind of like exaggerated action um, for golf and things like that. Like the characters have names for their drives and things like that, or certain characters do. Um, but it's
I
so
love it.
random. The concept of this is the most ridiculous thing. So it's about a young girl who's like, granted, it's what 8 weeks in now. She's she's mostly played golf as part of like the mafia underground, like really random. It's to make money. Like she make bets.
Mafia?
Yeah, like yeah, exactly. Like that's how like, it's so
What?
far out there. Um, but so she like gets challenged to these things and she goes and plays and she wins money and she's very consistent and very good. But then she gets challenged by a uh, Japanese female golfer like who happens to see her play against like in one of these situations, and it's just for golf, just to play golf, but she's not used to that, and like she has to. So it's about her kind of leaving that life and trying to become official. I guess it's really good though.
Not
I really
the
love the
story
approach. It's
combination I would expect, but it sounds super
it's
fascinating.
super random and I'm just really happy because we don't see a lot of shows like this with like it's based on female characters
Yeah.
that it like so it's female characters but it's very um shonen-esque. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like yeah, it's just a lot of fun. um
Yeah.
so that's one I've been enjoying, and then the most recent season of the Rising of the Shield Hero is is also currently playing, and
I've seen a few episodes of that, but I haven't.
it's just a fun random concept. Like it's
Yeah.
another isekai, and then now we're doing isekai within an isekai. It's getting weird. Um, but
Inception.
I
Pulling an
liked
Inception.
I liked Rising of the Shield Hero because when I was burnt out on isekais, it was a different take, in a
Mm-hmm.
sense, which was super nice. Is kind of just like the anti-hero kind of thing, but he's awesome and ends up, of course, the main character has to get OP. Um, but this season we kind of get a little reset for him. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, all in all, I know there's a lot more I need to get caught up on, but those are the ones that I kind of binge watched through this weekend, uh, to get fully caught up on. And I recommend
While you
all of
were
them.
recovering from your Vegas trip.
I mostly recovered, but this weekend I had to recover from being old. Uh, I tweaked my neck, so like I haven't been able to really turn. Um, and that was like Friday night.
16.
I was supposed to
I'm
go.
a grandmother.
It was so bad. Like it's been bad. Like I don't even know what I did. It's like a pinched nerve or something.
That's
I
the
was just
worst.
like I woke up and I'm like, nope, ow, ow. It's just like a sharp pain straight down my neck.
Bad, bad, bad. All of the bad.
Yep. I was like, okay, if sleep, but then like I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna rest today then. And I took a nap and I woke up and I had like I could not like shoot myself up to get out of bed. Like I had to roll
Oof.
out and like keep my entire body stiff, and it's rough. Don't get old,
That's
people.
the worst.
I was like, I was almost to the point I was gonna go to the urgent care since they were open on
Oof.
Saturday, or
Yeah.
the ER is bad.
It was
Is
bad.
is I'm like, oh no. So I had bought some ibuprofen.
Maybe it was all that driving.
I probably more so just how I slept, which I'm a little relieved that I wasn't, because I was supposed to go camping. That I
Mm,
wasn't out, because that would have been rough to
that would have
not
been
be able
real
to get out
rough.
of the hammock.
No fun.
This is my home now. Um, but yeah, so that's been my life. That's been
Fine.
my week. Some other things, like I'm working on some job applications and stuff, and since
You
it's
and me
kind of a
both, buddy.
quiet night, we're gonna shout out to Avoided Dice, joining us in chat.
Hey.
How are you? Thank you for joining us. It's been a while, at least for me. Like I haven't been on, so probably the last time you actually tuned in, maybe I don't know, maybe I was actually present. Um,
We've missed you, to be fair.
I'm sorry, me?
Yeah,
Awesome. I haven't been. No, I'm just joking. Um,
fine. I'll just leave then.
just kidding. No, I missed doing this. I was hopefully I thought I was gonna be ready last week, and then I was like,
Nope.
lots of things just happened, and then I got called for that interview. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go do this, and then
Fair
like, do you
enough.
want to stay? And I ended up getting a job offer, but it wasn't for what I originally applied, so I didn't take it. But
Mm.
just throwing that out there. But yeah, so that's what we've been up to. If you've noticed, obviously Shanine and Cameron aren't with us. They are off doing other cool things,
Yeah.
um, being cool people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is our main recap.
Being
So
MVPs.
someone's gotta, because I've been slacking.
Holding down the fort.
Um, but we'll go ahead and we'll jump into kind of our news recap. We're kind of returning to so this is our first one since our most recent change slash update. So we're kind of returning to an old format that Cameron and I used to have. Granted, a lot of our sections don't have names yet, but a couple do, and I love them. But yeah, we'll start off with our kind of video game news. Kind of a lot happened in May, a lot of random things. Um, yeah, I know Emma kind of followed a little bit, but kind of go through some of these and kind of talk about them. First big note, since Emma just got her new PS5 just in time for PlayStation Plus's subscriptions to change this coming month on June 13th. but yeah, so
That's going
like
to
we're
be
getting like the
interesting.
different tier levels and things like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see exactly what this how this ends up looking. Um,
I
but
was just looking into it today, and from my understanding, if you have the plus right now, it transforms into the base tier.
correct. Which sucks because I buy a year at a time, or I used to. But it is their cheapest one, and like kind of like what will come with. So like on the high end, the premium package allows you to like trial like limited game trial. It's going to offer limited game trial time for games like brand new games,
Oh, that are
um,
like nearing release.
or no, like are out, but are the kind of like their big
Oh,
titles.
you get to like try it before you buy it to see if you would
Yeah.
actually
So
want
like
it.
if you're not like a launch day person like me, or us, I guess, um, it's a good option. So like this coming month, it's offering limited trials on games like Uncharted, Forbidden
Mm,
West, Cyberpunk, and Farming Simulator. I don't know why that's on there actually. Yeah, that's weird. And then Tina's Wonderlands and WWE 2K22. I don't know.
interesting. I hadn't seen that bit.
But yeah, so there's going to be a lot of things and perks to it. They're just kind of updating. We'll see. I'm interested to see how this full rollout does. It's kind of annoying. Um,
It is, but it's in response to the Xbox service.
it's the wrong
So
response. Um,
sure, that's how we all feel.
yeah, like I think obviously you'll still get free games, but I think like the more you're paying per month, you'll probably get more free games or additional games as well. You know, it's fine. It is what it is.
As long as I keep getting, free whatever every month, I'm fine with my base format. But I can see how some people would be frustrated by it.
I think I might upgrade to the middle tier.
Middle tier.
Maybe I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm fine with the basic for now too. Um, but I mean, like Forbidden West for a free trial, with your PlayStation Plus, might be something you do
Mm-hmm.
with the so you because you have the PS4 version currently. Um, so I
I
mean,
got a free upgrade to the PS5.
did you?
Yeah, because when it came out, if you bought it within, or if like you did a pre-order, a certain pre-order of it, then you could get an upgrade to the
Oh, okay.
PS5.
Well,
Um,
never mind.
so that worked out in my favor. So
So yeah, be on the lookout for you PlayStation players. Be on the lookout. Watch your PlayStation Plus account for that information. That's coming up pretty fast. In console news, the Nintendo Switch has officially outsold the PS4 in the United States.
took it long
Um,
enough.
I mean, it's kind of impressive because the PS4 is still kind of selling. PS4 was wildly successful,
Yeah.
in general, and the Switch is about 4 years younger. Is that about right?
Again, took it long enough. But it is still impressive.
Yeah. Which and also number of units sold. The Switch is all like was the number one like this past month. Uh,
I assume that's the base Switch. Does that account for the Lite as well? Or
I think it's just in general Switch units. Yes.
okay.
I
Yeah.
don't think it breaks anything specific out. It's going to include all because it's based on the platform, not the
Yeah.
uh,
The slight
specifics.
variations in
Exactly.
physical product.
Just like
Yeah.
because like yeah, the PlayStation 4 units are going to also include, um, the original model,
Yeah.
the
The
Pro
Pro. Yeah.
and the
All
Slim.
the
Yeah,
whatever the
when they
other. Yeah.
changed their design. I still have my original. Uh, but uh, Yeah, so, you know, as they're finally like revamping, like consoles have been such a pain to get a hold of. Um, and this is why everyone's buying them,
Yeah.
apparently.
Plus the chip shortage
Yeah,
as
that's
of
what I
late,
mean. Like
which
they're like
hasn't helped.
the PlayStation 5 launched literally just as we were going into
Yeah.
craziness. So
Because
that's
without it, the demand for it by this point would have decreased because everyone would have gotten one that really wanted one.
well, they would have ramped up production if they could have,
Right.
but
That's what I mean. Like in the grand scheme of things, they would have picked it up and then everyone would have gotten one within the first 6 to 8 months.
I mean, on a plus note, it's a very solid business model.
It
Um,
is. They know what they're doing.
in chat, I do see Avoided Ice did mention that what a roundup farming simulator does seem a lot out of place. Yes, very much so. Switch Sports was a huge move. They really banked on nostalgia there, and I guarantee that boosted
Yeah.
sales. Yeah, very
Yeah.
much so.
Yep.
And also, like I think, like consoles like the Switch have a lot more potential for sales in general. Like it should be something that's outselling most things, and that's because multiple per household.
Yeah.
Like with its handheld style, kind of everyone kind of can get their own. So that means
And it's not as intimidating to the general public as like PlayStations or Xboxes that lean into the more, you know, heavy gaming style.
yeah, it's a family console.
Yeah.
For sure. And like honestly, like you're not gonna buy multiple PS5s per household.
No.
Maybe some people might buy two, depending on them. Um, but the Switch is like, yeah, I had to buy one for each of my kids. It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
but that's kind of the charm of it. And yes, Switch Sports, lots of nostalgia there. Kind of cool things. Although like they did miss out on a couple things, like when we're looking at the specific details. Granted, a lot of that functionality may come later, but cool stuff. Um, what else do we got? What else we got? And also kind of cool news. Um, Activision, a Blizzard subsidiary, which we were kind of aware of, has won its union vote, establishing the second video game union in the United States. This is Raven Software. There's a lot going on there. Like obviously, we had the transition with Activision Blizzard. They have lots of lawsuits going on, but this is a great thing. For Raven Software, and look forward to more unions. Granted, they are a pretty small team, but good for them.
Good for them indeed. We like unions.
What else? And so then that brings us into our movies, TV, and entertainment segment, and kind of the perfect transition piece here, which I'm sure Emma is excited about, is PlayStation is continuing to push kind of in the TV and film. Kind of starting us off with a Horizon Zero Dawn Netflix series.
Wow, Netflix? I missed that bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Horizon Zero Dawn will be a Netflix series,
Wow.
which makes sense. Like I don't see
Yeah.
Sony wanting to kind of partner with like
Reliable sources.
yeah, like they're reliable. They're kind of third party still, like they're not
Yeah.
like they are kind of a big studio, but they're kind of the game changer here.
Yeah.
Netflix is. Granted, Netflix
I am,
has
yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
going on with it right now.
I'm cautiously optimistic. Like, I don't want to get my hopes up too much because I'm always cautious about adaptations, but like, I'm still curious to see where they go with Horizon and some of the others.
One thing I love about this is that Sony isn't trying to keep everything internal.
Yeah.
Because technically, Sony could. Like, they have their own production studios. They can launch their own streaming service.
Yeah. It's Sony.
which technically they've tried before. They did offer like PlayStation TV, and they did have like an exclusive show on there. I forget what it's called. It's a superhero show. Um, but I'm happy that they're not trying to do that. They're not trying to pull a CBS with Peacock or whatever
Hmm.
and all that. Granted, they are partnering with um, multiple studios. So like, well, what else do they have? So they have announced a Gran Turismo movie, which is going to be, I don't know. Essentially, it's going to be what? It's going to be Fast and Furious. It's like we already got a Gran Turismo movie. We got 10 of them. Um, but
Yeah.
that's one that doesn't have a home yet. But certain productions, so there is a Twisted Metal series coming to Peacock. Um, the God of War show is contracted with Amazon Prime. And an adaptation of The Last of Us is slated for HBO. Um, and then the two kind of non-attached, as we mentioned. So we have we're supposed to get a Ghost of Tsushima movie possibly, and a Metal Gear Solid movie. Um,
Interesting.
but these are early announcements,
Yeah.
production timeframes. I mean here, but like
Yeah. Which
yes,
means also means they aren't technically guaranteed in the long run.
I think the ones that are attached to certain services at this point probably
Are
will be made.
guaranteed.
Not necessarily guaranteed. Don't want to go that far because they can still
Yeah.
scrap projects. The
Yeah.
studios
That's
may
what I
still
mean
say
by
no.
that. Yeah.
I'd say Horizon Zero Dawn is the most likely. Netflix is very consistent about
Hmm.
getting an initial thing and then
Yeah.
probably like leave us on a cliffhanger and then end it. Or mid-season. Sometimes they do that too. Uh,
Yeah.
um,
One thing I would be interested with there slash curious with there is the use of the like biggest, most largest machines that we always see, but have just become part of the landscape. I'm curious to see if they do anything with that.
like, yeah, we don't know if this can be full live action or anything either.
Yeah.
Um, I hope they do a live action take.
Yeah.
Um, Granted, that is a lot of
That is a huge
CG work.
undertaking. Yeah.
Um, so I depends on what they're willing to do.
Yeah.
Um,
How much
I,
they're willing to pump into something like that.
yeah, probably as Avoided Ice mentioned, probably coming like it's probably one we'll see supposed to be soon. Pretty much guaranteed at this point is The Last of Us on HBO.
Yeah.
That one was an early announcement a while ago, so we know that one's been in the works, and we haven't seen
And the
any scrapping
success
yet.
of that, like what happens with these ones coming up, is going to depend on the success of The Last of Us.
And it's actually adaptable, like, or it's an
Yeah.
easier to adapt.
Yeah.
Kind of like the plot and the story is different than these other
And there's been
ones.
a lot of zombie stuff in the past. Like at
Like,
this
yeah,
point, the film cosmetics world has zombies nailed down to a T,
exactly.
and just the different variations that you've got The Walking Dead and whatever else. Like there have been so many different takes on zombies at this point that like the take on them in The Last of Us isn't like really reinventing the wheel. Like it's a different take on them, yes, with the spores and the different mutations and whatever, but it's easy enough to recreate with prosthetics and everything else that
Right. Oh yeah, granted, there's like one main series in terms of TV that we've seen, which is The Walking Dead.
yeah.
That's been going on. Is that still going? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. People were obsessed. I couldn't stand it. So slow. I don't wasted my time. Nothing ever happened. How do people die in that show? I don't know. Um,
How does anyone turn into a zombie? They never do anything.
they are so slow. Like they just walk. It's like I'd rather watch It Follows again. Um, for the most part. I mean, I guess the characters are kind of level. It's more of a drama, I guess. But yeah, like The Last of Us is kind of, in terms of video games, is what launched like the zombie craze, because
Yeah.
after that we saw so many zombie games
Yeah.
kind of come through the framework, and then like the following years, like Pirates again. I don't know. It's just crazy how the trends, like I don't, like how do studio, like there's so many different studios, yet they all coordinate on a trend at the same time. It's crazy. It's like everyone's making
They've
a
all
Viking
got
game now,
internal analysts who tell them the things that are
right? Yeah, it's like
getting more interest.
we just need a. Everyone's making a Viking game. We need a Viking game. Like what?
Yeah.
But yeah, so cool news. I'm excited to see what other video games end up getting announced on this circuit. And I'm happy that Sony is just not keeping internal, as I previously mentioned. Very cool. They have, 4 different services working on these different projects right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of Netflix, though, so we know Netflix has been kind of cracking down on accounts and password sharing. Kind of like they've lost some users. They've kind of just reached market. I don't know what's term.
They've stagnated.
Right.
Stalled or whatever.
Everyone has Netflix pretty much. There's no
Yeah.
new member. There's no new customers to reach.
No.
Essentially, they're kind of at that weird point. So now we're seeing price increases. We're seeing them play with the mobile game market. If you haven't noticed that, it's so weird. What are you doing?
It's so weird.
But they are are working on possibly expanding into live streaming. Which will be interesting. They're looking at this specifically for things like stand-up specials, so you can watch a live stand-up special on Netflix, and things like that. So it'll be interesting.
But given that most of their stand-up specials recently have been coming under fire for various reasons, doesn't really seem like the smartest move. It's all just at this point.
It's like they got to do something, and they can't screen all their content to the extent, especially with comedy. But like I mean I get it. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call anyone a. And yes, Avoid AI's got the right saturation. They've reached market saturation.
There you go.
It's like that's the right word. Like but yeah, they are. Yeah, I'm not gonna. It's fine. It's some people just punch down. Don't put those people. Get better comedians. I don't know.
There you go. Problem solved. Get better comedians.
It's true. That's what it comes down to. It's like find less problematic comedians.
Yes.
But yeah, so we'll see. They're just having they have a lot of competition, a lot more competition now.
Yep.
Specifically looking at Disney Plus. Granted, I don't see Netflix is so in such a unique spot that it's just like with their market saturation, they just have to expand their role. I don't think Disney Plus is technically a real competitor in the sense that it's only Disney,
Yeah. It's all.
I'm not going to
Disney
leave
properties.
Netflix for Disney,
Yeah.
I add Disney to what I already watch.
Yeah.
So like the broad streaming services like Hulu might be, but Hulu doesn't do it. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Because really, like Hulu's like reality shows in the grand scheme of things. Hulu has mostly reality shows. Disney's Disney stuff, so Marvel, Star Wars, etc. Netflix is the catch-all plus its own, you know, Netflix
And yeah,
series.
so
And
that's
HBO is all the like fantasy, sci-fi, drama stuff.
HBO has a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
HBO is a good place.
Yeah.
It's definitely more like in general, HBO is like the more mature, generally mature
Yeah.
content, whereas Netflix has to be a little more family friendly
Yeah.
sometimes. Uh,
On occasion.
but yeah, like HBO is its own network though and stuff too. Granted, they get a lot of other random things. But yeah, it's just like Netflix came out of the gate so hard, very fast, has kind of interrupted the industry, and now they're like, we need to make money. And I'm a big fan of them because they keep bringing cool animes to Netflix or doing cool things with anime. So, just let Crunchyroll do what they do, though. Don't try to do anything about them,
Yeah.
please. Crunchyroll's
Just don't.
the best. Um, but they can't do it all, so thank you, Netflix, for stepping in and picking up the rest. Um, what else? You have something in here.
I do have something, but it's more of a next month thing than this month thing.
Well, yeah, it's upcoming.
Because
It's
I
fine.
didn't really have anything to contribute because but
There's always
just
plenty.
there's always plenty. I've just been getting all of the ads for Jurassic World Dominion, because it's coming out soon, and dinosaurs go roar. And at this point, they've announced, if you will, that the originals have returned for this movie.
I mean, like the trailers showed a lot of
Yeah,
originals kind of being available, like being in it. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I'm interested in it for that, not because I need to continue watching Jurassic Park, which is hard to say, but it's the
yeah,
truth.
yeah. And again, like this is one of those things where I'm typically like pretty neutral observer of the dinosaurs when it comes to Jurassic Park / Jurassic World franchise. There's the word. Because who doesn't like dinosaurs, but also like big budget movie just looking for more money.
Very big budget movie.
Very big budget movie. A lot of it went to CGI.
Yes.
For reasons. They decided not to pull the Spielberg and redo all the puppets for this one. Although that was very impressive in the original. So I'm just curious to see if the return of the originals, likely it was a bit of a money grab to keep audiences engaged, but I'm just curious to see if they actually made that return interesting rather than here's these people who who are, the OGs. Let's see what happens. So
yeah, it's mostly a nostalgia grab.
yeah.
They know millennials. They know us for like, ooh,
Yeah.
Goldblum's back. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's gonna be shirtless again. Yes. I'm just kidding. In chat we have what I saying? She hasn't been a big fan of the Jurassic World movies, but it'll be very nice to see the old cast again. She has serious beef with CGI. Part of the original charm of Jurassic Park was all the practical effects.
Practical is just so much more like unique and believable and adds a certain charm.
Yeah, there's just a lot that you can do with CGI though.
Yeah.
In terms of motion, in terms of like you don't.
But you can also like combine the two. It's
true.
pretty easy to combine the two. Like you don't have to do fully one or the other. Like
right.
The thing with practicals is you get more genuine reactions out of the actors because they don't have to make it up in their heads.
Right. And I would completely agree. But yeah, I mean, it's just nature of your industry anymore. Is CGI is
Yep.
effective. You can do a lot more motion, a lot more action, and that's what people want. We all have ADHD now, and more things move, the better.
Yeah.
Um,
Avoid dice. We brought back your faves. Now buy our merch.
I don't buy your merch in general, but okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
Neither do I.
But I mean, there's a lot of people that are being introduced to the Jurassic series with these. I enjoyed the first world, and then after that, it was like when we first returned back to the Jurassic movies with the original Jurassic World. That was fine.
Yeah.
But we'll see how this
I would
goes.
like to mention, speaking of animals, I literally just witnessed my roommate's cat chase his own tail.
Nice.
And it was hilarious. So cats do that too. Just FYI. Moving on, and I think that's about. There's probably a lot more that happened this month in terms of entertainment than our, but it's just two of us, so we're gonna go on from there. Obviously, Stranger Things season 4 launched this just
month.
released
Obi-Wan launched this month.
Mr. Vecna. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yet another.
I know you guys already talked about your
culture.
Doctor Who stuff, right?
Yeah, that was last week. You were off interviewing for a job.
Well, I'd had it. I was just staying the night. I wasn't going to be home.
Same diff, you know?
Yep. Which I guess that brings us to Emma. Help me out here. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Dongle news. It's been a while. This month we did get Google I/O, which was one of my favorite events. So, I mean, this was a weird I/O. Their formatting was just a little different than they usually do. But we got the announcement of the Google Pixel 6a, starting at about $450. Really great price for a smartphone.
Yep.
A very straightforward, simple, basic Pixel phone, which is just a straight, simple
smartphone.
Android experience, which is what I like. Just bare bones. Let me do what I want to do. That's my favorite thing about Pixels. So we got that. We got the tease for the 7, but no official announcement yet. But the 6A's starting at $450. Comparable camera, but this is kind of first time where we're seeing the actual breakaway from where the A series isn't using the same camera sensors as the main series. So like they're kind of returning to their roots from the Pixel 2, kind of like using like they're really great sensors. But they know like really where they shine is in their software, so they're kind of cutting costs on the camera sensors, which is fine. So I recommend, like, if you need a cheaper, under sub $500 smartphone, the Pixel A series are wonderful. I've been running. Granted, I broke it. Forgot to tell you guys that I broke my phone in Vegas. It's a good thing I had my backup.
Because everyone carries around a backup phone?
Not everyone. I do.
This just in. Chris carries around a backup phone.
What? I use my Pixel 2 as a dash cam sometimes. So I had it available. Granted, it randomly restarts when it's not plugged in, so that's why I don't use it anymore.
This just in. Chris carries around a backup phone.
It's true. Just gotta swap that SIM card if you ever break your first. Things you didn't need to know. But
The more you know.
We are seeing Google kind of work on their wearables now. I mean, this is kind of a long time coming. They acquired Fitbit a few years ago now, and kind of so. Granted, Fitbit's still doing its own thing on top of this, but we, seeing the first Google Pixel watch, so their own designed watch, supposed to launch with this Pixel 7 and 7 Pro this fall, which will be really cool. They've been working a lot with a lot of vendors, a lot of people. So I love this about Google because they do collaborate a lot with other designers and companies. And so I'm happy I'm hoping, sorry, not happy. I'm hoping that we'll see kind of them maybe interrupt Apple's stranglehold on the wearables market, but we'll see. So that is, and then they announced their new Pixel Buds Pro with active noise canceling and unique colors. $200 price tag on those.
Oof.
I mean, they're headphones. People spend way too much money on headphones.
I mean, yeah, but.
And then Voided Ice, because we're talking about Google. Me watching this on my iPhone. It's okay. I forgive you, Voided Ice. I get it. We also got, granted, this is not the prettiest thing, but they did announce a Tensor-powered tablet. And so this is Google's first tablet. They are wanting to kind of dive back into the tablet market. And honestly, we don't know what their intention is with this because it looks pretty basic in terms of a tablet. Like it doesn't look like anything crazy stat wise or anything like that, but it will have their Tensor chip in it, which is what they're putting in pretty much all their Google devices. It's kind of their AI chip, allows it to do a lot. So they announced this Android powered tablet, and I think really what they're wanting, they're hoping that with this, developers will be inclined to develop tablet-specific apps, because I think that's been one of the strengths that iPads have had. I think timing's a little weird because Apple's market on the tablet is
pretty strong.
Hard to compete. Very strong. But they're also expensive. They're the cost of a laptop. Yeah. So, I mean.
Yeah.
So, but if
I'm going to spend that money on that kind of technology, I might as well get an actual laptop rather than an iPad.
I think really what they want, because Android tablet, it's just a large form Android device. And things aren't really optimized for the tablet aspect, but I think what we're looking at happening here is with foldables happening, they're trying to get developers to optimize for both a mobile format and then a tablet format, because that's exactly what a foldable device wants to be doing. So we'll see. I have no idea we don't know what the price tag is going to be on this. Hopefully it's semi cost effective, because I'd consider it. But we'll see. We also do know Google is in fact working on a foldable phone. But that's been delayed and we don't have any new information.
Pushback and all of that fun stuff.
But my favorite thing about Google's I/O event this year is we are seeing a return to the Google Glass kind of thing. Granted, Glass is technically dead, but they are they have still been consistently working on AR glasses. What I feel like they are doing before, with original Google Glass, I think their scope was just too wide.
And they've narrowed it down.
They've kind of narrowed it down in terms of what they're doing with it currently.
Makes
They're
sense.
focusing on right now like translation and lens services, um, which is super cool. Like I
Yeah.
would so buy a pair for when I'm traveling so I can read all the signs.
Oh yeah.
Um, so yeah, real time translation during conversation. Um, no details on if we're going to be able to buy these anyway or anything like that.
Or
Um,
if it's just for, technology advancement.
yeah, which I believe it is. And but like from what we saw on them, these are definitely a more aesthetic and pleasing than like Meta's version currently. But like they are there's kind of three companies that are working on AR. One randomly being Snapchat or Snap, um, which they just announced their new glasses set to launch later this year or something. I don't know. And then
I
Meta's
don't
just
expect that to go anywhere anytime soon.
kind of spent too much money in this space, so they're like, we got to do something. We got to make it worth it.
Yeah.
So Meta or Facebook has bought so much. Um, but yeah, the from what we saw on that, like this is Google's most promising thing because translation just makes the world more accessible. I'm very pro it. Um, but yeah, I don't know if those are kind of the big things that are worth talking about from Google I/O.
Woo.
I love it. Be on the lookout. Except for
Here for it.
you Apple people. I'm sorry. I know you don't care. I apologize. Um,
I care.
oh,
It's just my current circumstances kind of require me to be in a world of Apple. Like I could I can dual wield and be okay with that.
you have to have. I mean, if you're gonna have, if I mean, no, there's nothing wrong with the Apple ecosystem.
Yeah.
It's it's plug and
If
go.
I had everything in my way, I would have like my home system would be Microsoft or non-Apple stuff essentially. And that would be my main system. But the world I exist in right now sort of requires me to be Apple because,
School does that
yep,
because they don't want to
they don't
platform.
want to fork out the millions they have in their bank account to change their entire computer lab.
Well, that and also they don't want to have to worry about like in teaching you to use the software.
They're already teaching us the software.
That's what I mean. Like in teaching you to use the software, they don't want to have to worry about differences in operating system.
It's the exact same, literally.
Not troubleshooting though.
Hmm.
The software ultimately would operate the same, correct? But like if they have to troubleshoot or like certain settings and customizations are the process for setting those is a little different. And they'd probably just, granted you could figure it out, but they a good portion of those people don't want to take like I don't know. Don't ask me.
Yeah.
You figure it out. You're the one that brought the other system.
Yeah.
But kind of, and then our last piece here, granted. So I've kind of talked. Corsair is a great peripheral company. They also make great cases and things like that, but they have been growing a lot. They are probably like I think the largest computer gaming peripheral company in existence right now. Maybe because they own Elgato, they started buying up a lot of companies. Okay,
Yeah.
but one thing they have never done is release a gaming laptop. Until now.
Until now?
We are officially getting a Corsair gaming laptop. This is probably targeting, the Razer Blade people, but they have, and it has something that Apple tried. We'll see how if they do it better, but it has a touch bar.
Uh, uh.
From what I've
For
seen,
audio listeners, I'm grimacing.
yeah. From what I've seen, like of the shots and everything, it looks promising. like because like it provides information, like it's where your battery life. It's like another little screen, and I like the approach they did. I think this is a little better done because um, I think Apple's attempt was too open and relied too much on developers creating
An
specific
additional,
customizations for it.
yeah.
And then like if you don't want to do that for your software, then it's just there. Um, and it was there for emojis or something if you were texting from your laptop. I don't know what they were doing. Apple's been so adamant for never putting a touchscreen on a laptop that they did the touch bar and it was bad.
Why fix what's not broken?
But they have announced the Voyager A1600. Not you know not a bad name, I guess. It is going to be operating on AMD's processors. Yes. And AMD's GPUs, meh. But it doesn't look too bad though. We'll see. Like I feel like also because they own Elgato, it's going to be well optimized. It is possible the touch bar also may be used. Obviously similar to a Stream Deck. You can set your shortcuts for your different transitions in OBS or anything like that.
Oh, interesting.
So
I'm looking at pictures of it.
Yeah,
it looks more like what I expected the Mac touch bar to be when that was originally announced.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a decently weighty, like this is definitely not an ultrabook. Looks actually decently thin, but it's hard to tell. But what's kind of interesting, and I'm not sure what they're going to do with this, but the touch bar is visible and usable when the laptop is shut too.
Yeah.
Which is unique. So I'm not sure what functionality that's going to necessarily offer.
Or problems? Question mark.
Or problems, yeah.
At all?
Exactly.
I can see that getting easily damaged in transport.
Yeah. It does kind of have some classic gamer aesthetics to the device as a
rainbow
whole.
light up keyboard or whatever.
RGB, yo. On a plus note, they don't have like they found a nice balance in terms of keycap font. I'll say. Yeah. It's like it's not like the super weird like what is that letter? What does that say? But yeah, we'll see. This is supposed to launch this July.
Not getting in trouble, Cat.
And so, but yeah, I'm intrigued. Probably, it's probably not going to be my next laptop. Depending on the price point. Sometimes, if Corsair does this right and if launch it as kind of a really good value, I think this will be very successful though. Because Corsair is very trustworthy. But yeah, that's dongle news. There's a lot more that happened. I just wasn't, just trying to stay in our lane mostly. I just want to talk tech, okay? I like tech. Tech.
Always being a little snuggle butt.
And then our final segment is technically tangibles, but it's not really my area, and I didn't find anything to discuss with that. So
nor did I.
Yep.
So
our tangibles is our tabletop segment. Tabletop / Magic the Gathering, things. I think there's actually plenty of D&D news this month, but oh well.
Isn't there like a new book that was just released that was a combination of some previous books in terms of rules and stuff? I feel like there was.
Let's check.
Or like monster guides or something.
They did just announce. What is it? Their newest source book, which was announced, is Monsters of the Multiverse. It's super cool. We previously talked about it, but yeah, like this is, I mean, yeah, like a lot of pretty much, yeah, it's all new source books and new adventures, but I think we mostly got a lot of that out of the way. Announcements in terms of last year, or last month. And I missed a couple of Voided Ice comments. She says foldables trip her out. They seem so breakable.
They do. I saw one in the wild a few weeks ago, and it seemed pretty.
I've heard
pretty
good,
sketchy,
decent things though about their durability. Like, I mean, I think that's the number one concern is the breakability. But I think they went through so much testing before deciding to release it to consumers. Like, they're certified for so many folds and things like that. Really, I just want like a scroll. Like, it rolls open,
yeah.
And like, I want to use a scroll. Like, that's what I want to walk around with.
Dude. Heck yeah.
It just makes it feel like old timey at the same time, but also like very high tech. That's what I want in life.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually. I think what we need is just a new screen technology, because biggest problem is LCDs in general. Like, it's crystal. That's you crack the crystal, you're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you want to talk about?
No.
All right. Well,
except for we're glad to have you back.
Well, the other two can't even tell me that. No, I'm just.
I missed you.
But thanks for tuning in. This has been our main episode. We might be on a little longer for our after show chat, or talking with our one viewer, I guess, currently avoided ice. So time to catch up with her.
Appreciate
you. For those that are interested, our next book for June, which we'll do our next book club will be on June 30th. We will be reading We Were Dreamers by Simu Liu. Or Shang-Chi, for those that don't know, who we're referencing there.
Point of reference.
Yep. Become an action hero, write a book. He's living the dream.
I expect this one to be better than the comics.
Oh, for sure. And as always, you can find us on our socials. We are One Geek 411 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For those that want, you could join our Discord and communicate with Emma, Cameron, and Janine, because apparently I'm never on.
Even though
I'm there sometimes. If you at me, I will respond usually. You can email us directly. We are 1stgeek411@gmail.com. Check out our merch on our Redbubble store, and watch our live stream on Twitch every Monday at 6:45 Mountain Time, or our occasional individual streams. I haven't done that in a while either. And find our videos on YouTube. Be sure to rate and subscribe wherever you listen or watch. And you can also check out our website, onegeek411.com. It will be updated one day, eventually, sometime, maybe. And you can check out our personal social media. I'm not so foreign.
I am not prepared with an eye in the prepared.
It's been.
Smell some flowers.
Wash them hands. Maybe eat some fish. And for Cameron,